So welcome back to the data science program. In this video we'll cover if and else condition. If and else condition is really important, not only for Python but for all the programming languages. Without the if and else condition we can't code in any of the languages. So before starting if and else, I'll just show you guys one picture how the if and else condition works. So I'll just take you to that picture. So I'll give you guys one example first. Whenever we are executing the program, the flow of the program is from top to bottom. So the program executes from top till bottom, but you will come to a point where you have different possibilities. You will have 2 possibilities, 3 possibilities, and many more possibilities. So whenever you have possibilities where you can go in different ways, that is known as the branching condition, and under that we have to study if and else condition. So I'll give you one example. Suppose we are checking whether according to your age whether you can vote or not. So suppose we have 2 conditions here. If your age is less than 18 years, you can't vote, and if your age is greater than and equal to 18 years, then you can vote. These are the 2 conditions here. So in if and else condition, suppose the condition is true, you enter this block, and suppose the condition is false, you enter the else block. So suppose we'll take that voting example. Suppose your age is greater than equal to 18, then you enter the if block, and you can vote. And suppose you are less than 18 years, then you enter the false block and else block, and you can't vote. So that's about the theory part of if and else condition. Now I'll take you to the Google Colab notebook, where I'll show you guys how to code in if and else, and I'll think of you guys as a beginner only. I'll start from the very basics, and then I'll show you guys 2 or 3 programs. So suppose I'm taking a variable 1, and the value of the variable is suppose 50, and I'm creating one more variable, variable 2 equals to, I'm taking input. I'm taking an input. I'm asking the input from the user, so enter the number. So to provide, so we are taking the input from the user and storing it in the variable 2, and now we have to check whether variable 1 is greater or whether variable 2 is greater. So we'll use if and else for this code. So now we'll see if the syntax of if and else is, I'll just add one more code here. I'll just show you guys how to the syntax of if and else in Python. So you have to write if, and then you have to provide your condition here, condition, and then you have to provide this colon, and after that you have to type your code, and then else condition, and everything. Then you have to type else and this, and then you have to type your code. So this is the flow of if and else. You have to type if, and then you have to provide your condition, then you have to give your code, then you will enter the else block. There is one more. Suppose you have more than 2 possibilities, then you, in other programming languages there is if else condition. So here we have Elif in Python, so I'll teach you guys about that also. So this is the flow. I'll just remove this, and we'll come back to this. So we are taking the variable 1 and storing 15 inside variable 1, and then we are taking one more variable, and we are asking input from the user. So now suppose we'll check the first condition. So if variable 1 is greater than variable 2, then we have to provide this is the syntax. So, and there is one more thing I have to teach you guys, is the indentation. So whenever you are coding in if and else, you will face indentation error problem. So after giving this colon, and when you press enter, see this you are coming to this point, you are not coming to this point, because it has to be clean. This is because of the indentation in Python. So what you do after just typing this colon, you just press enter, and wherever the key is taking you, you just type the code from there only. So now we'll print, and suppose if variable 1 is greater than variable 2, then we'll print variable 1 is greatest. And suppose if it is not true, we have only two possibilities here. We have three actually. First I'll show you two possibilities. So if variable 1 is greater than variable 2, print variable 1 is the greatest. Now I'll show you guys one more else. Now we have entered the else block, and in else block you don't have to provide any condition, because else is the last condition. So in else we'll print if variable 1 is not the greatest, so variable 2 will be the greatest. So we'll print variable 2 is the greatest. So now if you execute this program, and we have to enter the input, and we have to store it in the variable 2. But if you think carefully, we have one more possibility here. So suppose if variable 1 and variable 2 both are equal, so now we have three conditions, and whenever you have more than two conditions, you can use if you're coding in Python. So if the first condition is not true, then we will check Elif condition, and if Elif is not correct, then we will execute the else condition. So here we will type one more condition, Elif, and then the condition would be variable 1 equal to variable 2, and then we have to print, okay, we have to provide this print both are equal. So these are the conditions. So I'll just run the cell. Okay, to provide one more equal to, so I have to provide one more equal to, and now I'll run the cell. And now it's asking us to enter the number, and that will be stored under the variable 2. So suppose the first number is 50, and now we are giving 100 as the second number, and now you see the output, enter the number, variable 2 is the greatest, because we have given 100, and in the inside variable 1 we have 50, so obviously variable 2 is the greatest. But if we try to run the cell again, and if we try to give the variable 2 as 50, so both will be equal. Now suppose we are giving 50, and now if we are trying to run the cell, we will get the output as both are equal. See, so this was the basic to give you the logic, to build logic how if and else condition works. So whenever you have possibilities, you use if and else condition, and whenever you have more than two conditions, more than two possibilities, we use Elif condition also. So now I will show you guys one more program. This time we'll create one list, and we will provide one list, and under that we'll store few numbers. Suppose we are storing these number inside this list, and we will check whether 4 is present inside this list or not. If it is present, we have to print, okay, it's present inside this list. If it is not present inside this list, it will show us, okay, it's not inside the list. So I will write the if condition, if 4 in is the membership operator. We have studied about membership operator, in and not in. You have to write it in small letters only. So if for in list, and then we are done with the first condition. If this condition is true, we will get the output as present inside the list. If this condition is not true, then we will execute the else condition, and we will get the output as not present inside the list. So now I'll run the cell. So because 4 is present inside this list, we will get present inside the list. So suppose again if we run the cell and if we provide 10 and 10 is not available in this list, so we would get output as not inside the list. So I'll just run this cell again, and I'll just, okay, sorry, I have to just type 10 here, and now if we try to run the cell, we will get the output as not present inside. See, not present inside the list. And if we try to print simply 4 in this list, we will get true, otherwise false if we are providing 10. So till now we have covered 2 basics programs, and now we will see one more program where we will take input from the user 3 numbers, and we will check which number is the minimum number. So I'll just write program to check which number is the minimum. So we will create 3 variables. First we will create variable a, and we will store a integer int input enter first number, and then we will take one more variable b, int input, and enter second number, okay, to second number, okay, to provide this enter second number, and we will take one more variable c equals to int input enter third variable. So now we have 3 variables to provide this. Now we have 3 variables here, and now we have to check which is the minimum out of these 3. So for that we will use if and else condition. So the first condition would be if a is less than b, and we are using a logical AND here, and a is less than c, and we are done with this condition. Then we have to print a, the smallest number is a, then we have to type smallest number is, okay, is a, smallest number is a. Suppose this both of this condition has to be true. We have used logical AND here, because logical AND, in logical AND both has to be true. So this condition has to be true and this condition has to be true, then only this we will get this print. So now we will see the second condition. This is going to be in the Elif because we have more than two possibilities, that's why we are using elif. Suppose if we would have had only two condition, then we would have used only if and else condition. Because we had more than two condition, we are using if, else and elif. So elif, if suppose if this condition is not true, then that means a is not the smallest. Then we have only two numbers, two variables, b and c. So if b is less than c, that means c is the smallest. So we will see b, sorry about this. So b is less than elif, b is less than c. Because a is not the smallest, we if this condition is not true, that means a is not the smallest. Then we will check b is whether b is less than c. If b is less than c, we will get the output as smallest number is, and we will get b. And if both of these conditions are not true, if a is not the smallest, b is not the smallest, that means we have only one condition left, and that is the else condition. And under that we would get c as the minimum number. So now we will print else, we will write the else condition. And see, to avoid the indentation error, see, if elif and else condition has to be in proper alignment. See, when you, after providing this colon, when you press enter, then it will take you to this point. There only you can print whatever you have to print. But whenever you are going to for the next condition, it has to be in proper alignment. So that's why I'm using that's why I have to type here else condition. Okay. Else, under else we will print smallest number is c. So that's the program. I'll just run the cell. You just have to provide three numbers, and according to that only it will show you which is the smallest number. You can give any number of your own choice. So I'll just run the cell. It'll ask us to enter three numbers. So it's asking us to enter the first number. So suppose first number is 100, second number is 200, and third number C is 300. So obviously smallest is 100, so we should get 100 as the output. See, smallest number is 100. So this is that's a basic program, but still it will give you the logic. It will build logic how if and else condition works in Python. So I'll just run this cell again, and we will provide different inputs. We will provide some random inputs now, some big numbers. You can provide any big number. Python can deal with large numbers, so we will provide large numbers. You can provide any number, and now we will enter one more big number, and see, we are getting this as the smallest number. So till now we have covered three small programs, and now we will see one more program where we'll create one menu driven calculator. And it's going to be a calculator where it will take input from the user, same way we used to do it with the command prompt. We will imagine that we are not having the GUI. We'll simply use the command inputs, and we will create one basic calculator where it will take input as plus, minus, multiplication and division. So program to create menu driven calculator. So this is going to be a basic program. So now what we have to do, we have to take input from the user, two inputs, and according to the input given by the user as the operator, we have to add or subtract or multiply or divide the two numbers. So I'll create one variable, number1, num1 equals to int input, enter first number, and now num2 equals to int input, enter second number, and now we will create one operator, op equals to, and here also we have to take input from the user. It has to be in this string format, so we don't have to use int. So we will take, sorry about this, some issue with the laptop, sorry for the delay. Yeah, see, it has to be in the string format, so input, enter the operation, operator among these four. So what are these operators going to be? First one is going to be plus, then a minus, then multiplication, and then division. So what we are doing here, we are taking two inputs, two numbers as input from the user, and that user has to provide the operator so that we can perform the operation, and that operator has to be among these fours. It has to be either this plus symbol, or the minus symbol, and or this multiplication symbol, or the division symbol. According to this operator only we have to perform whether we want to add or subtract or multiply or divide. So so now what we have to do is, after this, so we have to provide if condition. If op value is equal to plus, if the op value is plus, then what we have to print is, we have to print num1 plus num2. So and then elif, if this condition is not true, elif, if op equals to, and if they are giving the operator as the minus symbol, then it should subtract these two numbers. So now we will print num1 minus num2. Then we will provide one more elif condition, elif op equal to, suppose the user is giving the multiplication symbol, then we have to print num1 into num2. And suppose these three conditions are not true, then we will enter the else condition, and we have to provide the else condition. Under the else condition, we have to print num1 dividing by num2. So now we will see there is some indentation error here. Okay, see, now it's proper. See, when you press the backward key, if the print is coming this line, now we are getting the error because of this indentation. So when you because we have not provided the symbol, so now we have to see, now it's proper. Now if we run the cell, so it's asking us to enter the first number. Suppose we are giving 100 as the first number, and then it will ask us to enter the second number. Suppose we are giving 50 as the second number, then it will ask us to enter the operator among these four. Suppose we are giving plus, suppose we are giving this plus, that means it will add number 1 and number 2. So now we'll run the cell. Okay, have to press shift enter. Now it will show you the output. See, again we have to enter, I'll just type quickly. Now 50, and now we'll press plus, and now we'll press shift enter, and now we will get 100 plus 50, which is 150. Why we are not getting the output here? num1 plus num2. Oh, because we have provided it under this string, we don't have to provide this. Now if we run the cell, we will get the proper output. 100, 50, and now we will get 150 as the output after giving the plus symbol. See, we are getting 150. We can use any other operator as well, multiplication, division, any operator. Suppose we are giving 20 as the first number, and then 30, and now suppose we want to multiply 20 and 30, so we will give this multiplication symbol, and we are getting 600 as the output. So this was a small program where we have coded, where we have created one menu driven program which will do basic calculations like plus, minus, multiplication and division. We are taking the input from the user, just the way we used to take from the command line. So till now we have covered 1, 2 and 3 and 4 program, basic program. Now we will see one more program where we will provide username and password, and we will assume that these are the email ID and password, the correct email ID and password. So if the user enter the correct email ID and password, we will provide him the login facility. If it provide the password, wrong password, so we will give him a chance to log in again, otherwise we won't allow him to log in. So I'll just write program to login. So what should be the flow of this program? So by default we will assume the email ID is vik@gmail.com. By default we are assuming this is the correct email ID, and password is suppose 999. So what we have to create here, suppose suppose the user is providing the correct email ID and correct password, then we will allow him to log in. So we will print welcome. Suppose I'll just show you guys only directly. So first we will create a variable by the name of email equals to input. We will take input as a string only. So input enter your email ID. So enter your email ID, and then we will ask him to enter his password. So password also we are taking it as a string only. Input enter your password. So enter your password. We are asking the user to enter the email and password. Now now we will check the condition. Suppose if the user is providing the email and password both are correct, so we will print welcome to the website. So if email equal to vik@gmail.com, and we are using logical and, because in logical and both has to be true. If one is false, then the condition will be false, so we have to use logical and here. And password equal to, suppose we are giving 999. So suppose the user is providing the correct email and the correct password, and then we will print welcome to the website or any app. And suppose if this condition is not true, then we will write one else condition. And this else condition, suppose the user is not providing the email ID and password correct, so we won't allow him to log in. So under else condition we will print you cannot log in to the website. Sorry. So we have a if condition and we have one else condition here. But suppose we are if the user is providing the email ID, the correct email ID, but he's not providing the password correctly, so what we will do here is we will give him one chance to enter the password again, and if he's providing the password correctly, we will allow him to log in. Otherwise we won't allow him to log in. So suppose after this we will create one elif condition. So under elif condition, if I'll just copy this whole elif, and then I'll just paste it over here. So in under elif condition we will check, okay, don't have to write this. Sorry about my laptop, it's a bit slow, so can't help it. So in elif condition we will check if the user is providing the correct email ID and the password is wrong. So what we will do here is we will check this condition: elif email equals to vcash@gmail.com and password not equal to 999. That means the user is providing the correct email ID but not the correct password. So in under that condition what we should do? So we will write one print condition here. Under that we will print incorrect password, and after that we will give him we will try to give him one more chance where he can enter the password again, and if he enters the password correctly, we will allow him to log in. So if the password is incorrect, we will create the variable again, password equals to input, enter your password again. So enter your password again, and now what we will do here is we already have an if and else condition here, but in Python, that's the beauty of Python, you can use if and else condition under if and else condition. So we will create one more if and else condition. So in this program we have studied if and else condition, indentation, and now we will study nested if and else. So now if the so we have created the password again, enter your password again. So now if the password, password equal to 999, then we would print welcome to the website finally. So if the user is providing the incorrect password, we are giving him another chance to enter the password again, and if he is entering the correct password, we are printing welcome to the website finally. And again, if he is giving the wrong password, then we will enter the else condition, and under this else condition we would print we will print sorry, you cannot log in, try after 24 hours. So that's the flow of this program. So I'll just summarize everything. First I'll run this cell, and after that I'll just summarize everything. I'll just run this cell. So see, now it's asking us to enter the email ID. So we'll type the correct email ID, vik@gmail.com. Now it will ask us to enter the password. Suppose we are not giving the correct password. Suppose we are giving some wrong password, 888 instead of 999. So it will show us incorrect password. Enter your password again. So it's giving us another chance. So now if we enter the correct password 999, it will show us welcome to the website finally. See, welcome to the website finally. I'll just run this cell again. I'll show you with the different inputs. It's taking a bit of time. See, I'll just type vik@gmail.com, and I will enter the wrong password both the times. I will enter the wrong password both the times. I'm entering the wrong password. So it's asking us to enter the password again. I'm giving the wrong password, and now you see, sorry, you cannot log in, try after 24 hours. So we have provided the wrong password, so we have entered this else condition, sorry, you cannot log in, and you try after 24 hours. So suppose if you provide both email ID and password incorrectly, so then we will directly enter this else condition, and then we will get this message, you cannot log into the website, sorry. So I'll just show you guys, or first I'll show you guys after entering both the credentials correctly, @gmail.com, and then I'll enter the correct password only. Now see, I'm entering the correct password. So welcome to the website, and now I'll enter both the credentials incorrectly. Suppose I'm giving some wrong email ID, some wrong password. See, you cannot log into the website, sorry. Directly we have entered this else condition because we have provided the email and password incorrectly. So that's about the if and else condition. It's really important, but if you code it for like a week, or if you try coding if and else condition, just try if and else condition with different problems, and eventually you'll feel comfortable, and it's not a really difficult topic. You should know if and else condition. Other than that, if you don't know if and else condition, you can't code in any languages, so you have to understand if and else condition, and just practice. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you.